welcome to SheEO with Sophie, live from my living room. I thought I'd do something different this time. So this is my first ever solo episode, so bear with me, please enjoy. And yeah, we have spoken to so many incredible women. So 20 episodes all in all within this series. And what I wanted to do was take some highlights. You know, we have listened to incredible stories, learned some incredible lessons, and to be honest with you, I thought it was easier just to sum it all up in one. So for those that have never listened before, welcome. This is going to be a snapshot into everything we've learned over the last 20 episodes. So today I wanted to share some of my biggest takeaways, the stuff that really stuck with me and I keep coming back to. Consider this your SheEO highlights reel without having to binge the last 20 episodes. But you probably should anyway, because there were so many good bits. Now, what I wanted to do, because not everyone knows me. And yes, you've heard a little bits of my story and snippets within the podcast, but I wanted to give you guys a little quick fire on who I am so you have a little bit of my background and why I'm here today. So hi, my name is Sophie Bell. I am the founder of the SheEO Club and SheEO with Sophie, the podcast here that you're listening to today. I started this platform, if I'm being really honest, selfishly. I had so many questions about life, about how to progress within the corporate world, and I literally did not know where to go and get those questions answered. I have myself had lots of coaches in the past that have been really useful and really helped me progress my career. But I wanted to speak to more women within the corporate world that have been through the challenges that I have faced and am still facing to this day. Especially working in male dominant environments, it can be really tough. So I went out there, I started speaking to lots of women, hearing their stories, and it was great. I wanted to share that with you guys because if I found it useful, I'm hoping at least one or two of you will find it useful as well. So that's why I started SheEO with Sophie. And the SheEO Club is just a wider group. It's a community for women striving to get to the top and whatever top that is for them. You know, whether it is the corporate world, whether it is a more of an entrepreneurial environment, or whether it is just trying to figure out life in general, that's what the SheEO Club is here to do. It's here to support you, answer the questions, and give you some of those coaching tips that, you know, you might not actually get in the real world. So yeah, I'm hoping that you find it useful and interesting. A little bit about me. I grew up in the UK. I moved around a little bit and I actually moved to London when I was 16. Now, before this, I did not enjoy school. School was not for me, and I did not know what I wanted to do. So I left school at 16. I moved to London to become a professional dancer. That was something that I loved. It was my passion, and yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. Now, moving to London, I had aspirations of becoming Beyonce's backing dancer. Spoiler, that has not happened yet, but Beyonce, call me. I'm still available. Maybe not as flexible, but we can make it work. I then went through theatre school and then, yeah, dove into the world of dancing. So I did gigs, I did music videos, I did, you name it, I did it. And I was working about 5 or 6 different jobs at the time. It then came to one audition. Yes, I auditioned for Victoria's Secret to be a backing dancer. Now, it's not surprising that I got rejected. Let's be honest. I'm only 5'4" and the wings would have drowned me. I also actually, when, so you had to be, I think, 5'6" for the audition. I was a little bit naughty. I threw on my high heels, walked in there, thought I'd get away with it. Clearly didn't. So that was a lovely, humbling moment. But it kind of dawned on me that it would take me years to get to where I wanted as a dancer. And for me, I saw my life going in a different direction. I wanted to be successful. And what success meant to me at the time was having money and having the flexibility and freedom to do what I want. So that was my next move. I found my way into corporate recruitment. And I really fell into it. I think anyone who does recruitment will tell you they did not wake up wanting to be a recruiter, but we do it anyway. So I fell into corporate recruitment, focusing on technology, and I kind of got a knack for it. I love speaking to people. I really enjoyed the process of learning the job. And to be honest with you, after having 5 or 6 jobs and dancing every day, I actually found it a little bit of a relief and slightly easier, although it's very difficult. So at the time, it was slightly easier than doing all those dance moves. Yeah. So found my way into corporate recruitment and became the top sales professional 2 years in a row towards the end of my career in the UK. From there, I was like, okay, I've hit this goal that I wanted, which was to get to the top within the business I was in. And I wondered what was next. So one day I woke up and I decided I wanted to move to New York. Now, New York's always been close to my heart. I came to New York when I was 15, fell in love with the place, actually danced a bit out here. I thought I was going to come here as a dancer, if I'm honest, but we made it work anyway. So moved out, not as a dancer, still within the corporate recruitment space, and then became a VP at one of the businesses here, building a business from scratch. And since I have moved to a former employers that I was at when I was in the UK to help build out their US business as a recruitment director. Along the way, I have navigated issues that we talk about in this podcast, and I've faced challenges that you're facing now, you have faced, or you're going to face. And I'm still navigating my way through life and trying to find, the right blend. In this podcast, we talk about confidence, negotiating, leadership, work life balance. And yes, I even question whether I want kids. And I've been so lucky to get some incredible advice along the way. So let's dive in. Let's get some takeaways that hopefully you can take with you today. So I'm going to give you my top 15 takeaways. I know there's been 20 episodes, but a few things were repeated that I think are really key that we touch upon. And also, I think these are just the ones that really stuck out to me and are helping me on my journey today. So, number one, this is going back to actually the first ever podcast with Stacey Moore. She said, use your voice. Stacey really reminded me that showing up is not enough. You can sit in a boardroom and you can sit in these meetings, but if you're not actually talking and using your voice, no one will hear you. This is something that I have honestly learned firsthand. When I was younger, I think I was a bit too shy to give my opinions, or I didn't want to say the wrong thing, so I never really spoke up. But the more I spoke and the more I gave my opinion, I honestly feel like it's pushed me to where I am today. Not everyone listens, not everyone agrees, but I think you learn more from giving your opinion, listening to other opinions as well. So 100% use your voice. You're in these rooms for a reason. So make sure you are speaking, make sure you're being heard. And yeah, just use your voice, guys. Okay. Number two, this is actually going back to one of the first episodes as well. So Sonia said networking is key. Now, this one's a little bit controversial because I actually listened to a podcast the other day by Emma Greed. Absolutely love her. And she was with her husband, and they were saying, actually, you don't need to be in all of these rooms and going to all of these network events to get further within career and business. You just need to have a good group of business people around you. So I found that really interesting. But I do still think that your network is key, because even they're saying that you need to have a good network of business people around you. So the only way for you to do that is to network with people. Now, I'm not saying go out and, go to all the bars and go to all the conferences and be in front of everyone. Yes, that's great to get your name out there. But, we have LinkedIn, we have these social media platforms that we can utilize now to speak to people, get to know people, and build your network. So I honestly do think networking is a big part. You never know who you're going to meet. Someone actually could give you an opportunity. If you meet them, you network, you get in front of people, you never know what's going to happen. So I would actually say I do think networking is key. I do think, especially at the start of your career, go to these business events, especially if you're in a business and they have their own conferences and they invite you to events, go to it and get in front of the C suite, because they're the ones that are going to back you and push you forward in your career. So, network, find your people, and yeah, just build from there. And don't be afraid of making your network bigger, because you never know who is going to help you. Also, you never know who your next client is going to be if you are in like the sales environment. Going out and meeting people. I think I've even met clients in bars, right? You never know what's going to happen. So, yeah, I think networking is key, but you don't need to be at every event, be at every conference. Choose the ones you go to, be wise with it, but put yourself out there when you're there and try and have these conversations. Don't be afraid. So, this is actually one of my favorites. Never waste a crisis. Maria mentioned this and it was great. So, number 3 is never waste a crisis. Every crisis creates an opportunity, even ones that feel like total disasters. I have actually lived by this. There is so many times where I feel like everything was going wrong and my business was going down the pan and it was just a little bit of a tough time, of course. But those challenges do create opportunities. There was this one time when I was back in the UK where, and this is talking from a recruitment standpoint, a sales standpoint, I had this one client that everything went wrong. Like everything went wrong. I even placed this person in a job. I thought we had a good relationship. And when they became a hiring manager and they started utilizing me um, to hire more people, we just couldn't make anything work. Nothing was sticking. It was really difficult. And I genuinely thought that that was going to be it. That I was going to have a really bad year within sales and I wasn't actually going to hit my target. Anyway, fast forward a few months, he was struggling to find someone and reached out to me out the blue. I was surprised, but I was really happy. Very difficult role, managed to place it. And from there, we just built this incredible business relationship. He became one of my biggest clients. And yeah, I think every single role that he had came to me exclusively. And that was just from not giving up, not shying away from a challenge. And when he came back to work with me, obviously I said yes. But, that crisis at the start where I just felt like everything was going wrong and, I'd never have him as a client, it changed in the end. So, yeah, be persistent, never waste a crisis. Challenges do create opportunities. Remind yourself, if you're going through something tough, I promise you there's something bigger and better around the corner. So do not give up. Number 4, this was from the lovely Jo Graham. Fabulous lady. She was talking about watering your own lawn. A saying that we say so many times, especially within the recruitment industry, is the grass isn't always greener. You have to build a book within recruitment. You have to build your business, and that takes years. Unless you're very fortunate and you can make it happen quick. If so, call me. But half the time, it takes a long time to build your book of business. And I think that's probably the same for most industries, especially within the sales space. I have been in situations where I've debated whether I'd wanted to be in the job I was in. And I remember one time in particular, actually, when I came to New York, my first role here, I didn't know whether I wanted to be in that job. And I really struggled with whether, it was the business itself that wasn't right for me, or if it was me not putting in the graft. So I put my head down and I went 110% for most of it, but for a solid 3 months to decide whether it was me or whether it was just the business wasn't right for me. At the end of it, I realized that it wasn't the right place for me. And it wasn't the case of me not putting in the effort. So that made me feel better about my decision. I feel a lot of people make decisions to leave companies or leave situations And they do that thinking they're going on to something a lot better. And I promise you that every single business has struggles, troubles. No one's perfect. No business is perfect, but you have to find somewhere that feels like home and that you're able to develop your skill set. There needs to be a reason behind moving to every company or changing your career, pivoting. Have a goal. What do you want to learn by going to this next business? What can they offer you from a learning and growth standpoint that you're not getting at the moment? And that's really important. Don't just jump at the frying pan into the fire if you don't need to. So the grass isn't always greener. Water your own lawn, figure that out first, and then go from there. Give a job it's not even a job, whatever you're doing, 110% a hobby. You started knitting, fantastic. Give it a good 3 months of trying really, really hard. And at the end of it, if you don't like it, move on. But just remember, the grass isn't always greening. If you go from knitting to crochet, you might have the same issues. Number 5, visibility matters. You can work as hard as you want, but if no one sees it, it actually doesn't count. So you need to share your work. This was actually from Elaine, and I think a few others mentioned this one as well. But show people what you're doing. Maria actually made a really good point in her episode. Maria was like, say what you're going to do what you said you were going to do, and then talk about it. It's okay to talk about yourself, put yourself out there, and actually be proud of what you've achieved. But no one will know what you've achieved unless you talk about it. The other thing with that is people will talk about you in rooms when you're not there, and that's what you want. If people can back you when you're not there, you will progress quicker. So say what you're going to do it, and then talk about it, and make sure you advertise what you're doing and what you're bringing to the table. LinkedIn is great. I know that, it's slightly turning into Facebook. I also use it quite a bit now, but definitely put yourself out there and build your brand. I think that's really important in this day and age. And from myself, my own perspective, I think it's really helped. The more I've spoken about what I've done, the more opportunities I've got. So definitely put yourself out there. And don't be afraid as well. It's a bit scary, but don't be afraid. It's really not that bad. Who cares? Who cares? Another point actually that Elaine made, and I'm not going to add this as one of the numbers because I've only got 15 and this is going to end up about 30. But she said, no one's coming to save you. This was something that I needed to hear at the time that I did a podcast with Elaine. Like, no one is going to come and save you. You have to put the work in. Like, no one's going to just give you that promotion. Unfortunately, no one's going to give you $1 million or pounds unless you win the lottery. And then we obviously know how rare that is. But you have to put the work in, the effort in order to get the rewards. And unfortunately, as adults, our parents can't come in and save us anymore. So no one is going to come save you. So number 6 from a fellow sales girl, Amy, she said, ask for the sale. I love this. And I think so many people forget this. So whatever industry you're in, even if it's not a work perspective, always ask for the sale. I think we forget that. We're so busy and focused on building relationships that we forget to actually say, hey, like, I want to work with you. How do I go about doing that? So don't forget to be a little bit boisterous sometimes. That's okay. And actually ask for what you want, both inside and outside of work. This could also be down to negotiation as well. So asking for a pay rise. If you don't ask, you don't get. I would have like a brag box, say, in your email. So every time you get someone who says something incredible about you, like, oh, Sophie was really good at this. She saved our business X amount of pounds or dollars, or she increased our revenue by 100%. Save it into your inbox. So then when you go into negotiations, you've got some of the evidence to back you as well. So the next one, and this is number 7, we heard this, I think, in nearly every single one of the podcasts. And Julia spoke about this quite a bit. And it's clear from what she's doing now that it's really helped her. And that was continuous learning. Every day is a school day. Thinking that you know everything is honestly the worst thing that you can do. You need to always be learning, going into work, trying to learn, but also outside of work. I think Nima was talking about how she's learned a new hobby and she always tries to learn new hobbies. That's awesome. So, continuous learning, always try and better yourself. I actually, when it was the pandemic, which was quite a few years ago now, I took that time to really work on myself and go into self-development mode. I was reading all the books that you probably are aware of. And if you want any recommendations, let me know. Some fantastic books on, you know, how to control your mindset, how to grow as a person. And yeah, I spent the year or two really honing in on myself. I think doing that progressed me in my career. I came out of lockdown and the pandemic time and really accelerated my career quickly. Within that year, I progressed to an associate director. And that's because I took time to learn, step back, see what my gaps were. And I'm not even talking from a business perspective, I'm talking from a personal perspective. So continuous learning, whatever that means for you, I think is relevant. I definitely would advise anyone to do some inner work, some self-improvement work. I think you'll really see the benefit of it, like I did. Number 8. So Sarah Katz mentioned this. I think literally the whole podcast was around emotional intelligence. And it does matter with obviously AI evolving. Everyone's talking about AI. You do need to hone in on that skill set, so emotional intelligence. Now, actually, funny story, and I'm keen to hear people's thoughts on this because I had someone I was managing. So obviously now we've got ChatGPT, fantastic, works really well for so many different things, great at, making your job easier. But I set them a task. So I set someone a task that worked for me. And I said, right, I need you to do X and come back to me once you've done it, show me how you've achieved it. Anyway, we got to it. She showed me what she did, and it was completely wrong. And I was like, where did you get this from? Like, you know the answers, we've trained you up, you know exactly what you're doing. How did you get to this answer? And she basically did the whole piece of work on ChatGPT. So I would say that it's good, but you have to check your work and make sure you're using your own initiative and not just relying on ChatGPT because it can't do everything. It can't do those little nuances that we need. But then that rolls into emotional intelligence because if AI is coming in, what we have is emotional intelligence. When we're leading teams, managing teams, we can help support our team members from a human to human perspective. If someone's going through a tough time, AI is not going to be able to give them a hug. I'm not saying to give everyone a hug, not everyone wants a hug. But what I'm saying is sometimes someone needs a hug, whether it is just through words or physically. So, yeah, emotional intelligence is key. Understanding what your team needs, understanding how to support them through tough times. And yeah, just remember people are human at the end of the day. I know that everyone's going to say this, but I can come across slightly colder, especially in a work perspective or setting. I am very matter of fact. This is it. Here we go. I've really worked on that. I've tried to become a little bit softer, a little bit more understanding around people that I'm working with. And I have seen the benefit of it. I've had great teams. I've worked with some great people, and hopefully they've really valued the fact that I've listened to them and understood their situations and tried to work with them, not just robots. Number 9. Nikita made this point, actually. I've never heard this before. So she said harmony over balance, which is interesting. I've always seen it as trying to find a balance. But it's not about finding that perfect balance. It's about finding harmony, understanding what needs attention and when. As someone who has been so focused on their career, building a business, I have really struggled to find the harmony between my personal life and work. And that's something that I've made a conscious effort to try to improve over the last year. Giving you like a real time example, this actually happened the other week. I booked a last minute trip back to the UK to see my family. And it's the first time I actually had been to my parents in like 2 years. So my parents' house, because they don't actually live near London. I'm always either in London or Manchester when I'm back in the UK. So I booked this last minute trip because I just missed my family. And I felt like I wasn't present with them. And it made me realize that life goes on without you. You know, moving, especially moving abroad, is really difficult because you're not close to your family. So when I went back to the UK, I took time off work and I did that last minute because at the time, that's what I felt like I needed to do. So I've definitely found more harmony this year. And I've put my personal life before work sometimes, and that's okay. It's about figuring out what's best for you. And yeah, like I say, finding that harmony. And now we're back to work and we're back on it. And actually, I think I needed that break. I needed that family time. I needed the laughs. I needed the cuddles. So yes, definitely harmony over balance. Don't try to do everything. Don't try and be a superhero because let's be honest, no one can. Number 10. This one I love. And this one I think I've not lived by because I haven't done it that much, but I've definitely taken risks. So you have to take a risk in life. If an opportunity comes at you like a steam train, take the risk. Go and do it because you never know what's going to happen. And also, life's too short for you to sit around and wish that you would have done something. That's the way I've always thought about things is in 40, 50 years, am I going to regret not doing this certain thing? So I've taken two big risks in my life. So obviously moving to London at 16, dropping out of school. Woo! And also moving to New York. I think those were like my two biggest risks. I also had a risk within business actually. I went to a company that I knew was going to be a bit risky. And it's definitely paid off because I learned so much from it. But I would just say take the risk. If there's something that you want to do in life, or if an opportunity comes at you, just do it. And yeah, I think it will change your life always for the better because you'll just learn from it. Number 11 was from the amazing Diane. She said that you can't please everyone. I honestly have, I think throughout my whole life, tried to please people. And I think it's over the past few years that I really realized that I can't make everyone happy. When I have these teams, you know, you can't cater to everyone's needs. So I quickly came to a realization that tough love is sometimes necessary and it's okay to be disliked. Don't try and please everyone, especially if you want to become a leader of people, because that's going to be really difficult. Just do what you need to do and think about obviously the business, what the business is asking, the human element, and then come to a decision on what needs to be done. But you will be disliked. The world, people, even me doing this podcast, some people are going to dislike it. But you know what? I'm doing it anyway. I absolutely love this one. So this one was from Wandana. She said that happiness is the journey. It's the journey and not the destination. Chasing happiness is the biggest trap. You have to really live in the present. I have been fighting with myself on this for definitely, I don't know, the last 5 years. I've always been someone who's chased goals. And, you know, real time example is when I was chasing a goal to become an associate director, to become the top sales professional. I was chasing that down. And I thought when I got to the top, I would be living on cloud nine. I thought I would be the happiest person ever. And I was for a few days. It was absolutely fantastic. Don't get me wrong. I was really proud of myself. But then you kind of get the bit of the blues. So happiness is definitely the journey. I think I have enjoyed getting to where I am today, and I'm enjoying the journey more, and those little things, the laughs when you're in the office, or the struggles and the small achievements. Because yeah, happiness is the journey, and I promise you, when you get to your end goal, yes, it'll be fantastic and you'll feel like you've achieved something, but it might not be as amazing as you think it is. So live in the present, enjoy everything. I'm actually going to go for a walk later today just to clear my head, see the leaves falling, and I'm going to really live in that moment and enjoy it as much as possible, because life is way too short for you not to enjoy every single element. Number 13. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. So Marissa said, be the last to speak. Listening first is so powerful. And I've had this a few times actually, where I'm leading my teams and I'm having a conversation with my team, and I'll be like, right, this is what I think we should do. These are my opinions. And then you ask for everyone else's opinion. And half the time, I mean, you'll either get someone just flat out saying no and not agree with you, because there's always one. But most of the time, people just will agree with you and agree with your opinion. So always listen first, especially when you're working with people, especially working with a team or coaching or training people. Listen to their ideas, because there will be some, and there'll be some really good ones, and then give your opinion after. And actually, you might change your opinion based on someone else's. So always listen to people first, hear them out, and then give your opinion, just so you don't sway people too much. You want people to grow, and you want people to feel like they're supported. So yeah, be the last to speak. And actually, the same thing when you're in a boardroom. If you've got something valuable to add it. Obviously, you can add that first, but sometimes listening to everyone else in the room and then giving your opinion last. Oh, that's dramatic, and it looks like you know what you're doing. So embrace that one. Number 14. This one, actually, I think everyone spoke about, and this was asking for feedback. Now, asking for feedback is scary. Like, no one wants to be told that they're doing something wrong, or it's not good enough, or there's things that you need to improve on. So it's a really tough ask, but it's necessary. And I think as you progress through your career, feedback gets less and less. I'm finding that now is, unless I ask, I don't really get feedback. So ask for it. It's up to you whether you want to do something with it or not. But I would definitely take feedback on board, sit with it. If you need to make some tweaks, make some changes, do that. But always ask for feedback. It's going to help you progress very quickly. So ask for feedback, do what you wish with it, move on. Don't take it personally. I know that's really hard to say, actually. I just thought about that when I said it. Yes, I've taken many pieces of feedback personally, many, especially when I was like dancing. Because most of the time, actually, the feedback was, you're not that good. Or actually, I remember I had to, so when I went into dance school, I was more of a hip hop dancer, thought I was cool, down with the kids. And yeah, I needed to learn ballet. I think my ballet teacher said, you'll never be a ballerina. You are not good at ballet. And I spent the whole of summer having ballet lessons. And do you know what? I came back and I was in the advanced class. Who is she? So came back, was in the advanced class, and actually, side note, did a show with the Royal Ballet in London. Swan Lake. I was definitely not the main dancer, just to let you all know. But I did it. It's on my resume. So yes, feedback is hard, and it's not always the stuff you want to hear, but it can really help you, and yeah, take it on board when you need to. Okay, number 15. Number 15 was actually from Nima, and she said to embrace failure. I really loved this one, and it actually hit me at the time, because I was going through a situation where I felt that I just failed. I felt like I wasn't able to do what I needed in my previous business, and I thought that I failed as a person, and I didn't think I was any good at my job. I then embraced it and said, right, what didn't go well and what could have gone better? And then I brought that now into my new job, and it's really helped me. So embrace failure when you feel like you have failed, look at why and actually invest into it. And the more you do that, the more you'll learn. And then you can take, into your next role, into your next opportunity, those pieces that you failed on. I always try to say fail fast and don't make the same failure twice if you can help it. As difficult as it is, you can't control everything. So control what you can and then also sit back, let things happen, see them through, and then next time you'll learn from it. Learn from your mistakes, learn from your failures, and they'll create opportunities. You'll learn from them, you'll move forward, and you'll be a lot better. You'll be a better person as well. Okay, I know I said 15, but there's one more that I really just wanted to talk to you about. This was actually from our last episode that we filmed, and I just loved it, and I'm sorry, but we've got 16 now. So Lorene said, find your own path. I was definitely bad at this when I was younger. I was always looking at other people and what they were doing and trying to follow in people's footsteps. And it's only recently that I realized that comparison is the thief of joy. Your career, your journey, it's your choices. You have to own them. Do what makes you happy. Find a path that works for you. Realistically, no one is ever going to have the same path as you. So, yeah, find what you want to do. Go do it. If you want to do something else, pivot. But find what makes you happy. Find your own path. Don't look at other people. I mean, Instagram is the worst for this, or any social media. Uh, again, I've got a lot better at this, but there's so many people that will sit on Instagram and be like, oh, they're driving a Rolls Royce, they're doing that, they're doing this. Just to let you know, half of that is not even real. Some people just lease them. Some of it is fantastic, but don't compare yourself to these people. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know what their journey is. So find your own journey, enjoy it, make it happen, and yeah, just figure it out. You never know where you're going to end up. So find your own path. Don't copy someone else's blueprint. So there it is, my top takeaways from the last 20 episodes. Lessons I've applied or I'm going to apply, stories that have inspired me, and advice that I will keep close to my heart. And hopefully it's going to help me continue to navigate through this world and my path. If any of this has resonated with you, please do check out the episodes. Have a listen. Some incredible guests that were on this podcast. And yeah, I'm hoping that you're going to find it really useful. If there is anything that you're struggling with, talk to me. Drop me a note, send me an email, drop me a DM, find me in the street. I do not care. Let's figure out together how we can progress together. How can we become the best versions of ourselves? Hopefully, this was useful. As always, I think you hear it on every single podcast, but please do subscribe because it honestly helps us build this into something bigger and better. And I can have so many more incredible guests to join us. It's been a journey. It's been a great journey so far. Stick around. We're coming back with our next series, so stay tuned. In the meantime, feel free to check out the last 20 episodes and message me for anything else you want to hear of. And thank you for joining me on my first ever solo episode.